Hey everybody, welcome back to the LoveBook Studio. My name's Chris, and today I'm continuing my LoveBook building journey for my wife and her first Mother's Day. And I am going to jump right into it. So I have probably about like 7 or 8 pages that I have left that I want to do. It's already April 25th, so I want to move fast on this. I'm going to do like 5 pages in this episode instead of breaking them down into one by one. I'm going to do them all in one shot. We may cut this up into like smaller segments, but let's just do, I got 5 more pages I'm going to do today right now. And then I'm going to also finish up with maybe two more videos. And then I finally want to also do the last video, which is the reveal. I want to give it to her and, set up the camera and everything. So let's just keep going. Where I last left off was, let's see here, between the pillows, our hospital bags, and route planning, we had prepared ourselves for the moment. So yeah, at this point in time, we were ready. Like we were like right on the brink of, that due date coming up. Now she had a due date, but she also had an induction date too, where they said, this little guy is getting a little too big. We need to make sure he gets out before he gets too big. So they had an induction date set up. We decided to, like, one night, all of a sudden, she started to feel like these pains kind of coming in. And we're like, okay, the contractions were starting to get a little bit more heavy. So yeah, at this time, she was starting to feel those pains and those contractions were starting to come. And the whole question I had the entire time was like, okay, how many minutes between each one do we have to wait? Because we have a 40-minute drive to about a 45-hour or 50-minute drive to the hospital. So we were like, I wanted to make sure I knew exactly what was going on. So we ended up taking a trip to the hospital, and I actually had to make a special page just for this. I made a background of a hospital, and here it is at the bottom. I actually grabbed 2 things. I grabbed a hospital and a hospital reception area. And this is the reception area. So I'm going to go ahead and grab our characters. I'm going to grab the pregnant version of Sarah. Oh, and you guys may have noticed there's a couple more characters. I went in ahead and added a few more because I'm going to be needing them. And I figured you'd already see me like create characters. So let me add, we got pregnant Sarah and myself. And I'm going to place me here. And I'll place her next to me. And in this shot, there was another, we came to the reception area. And she was like all like smiles and happy. And I'm just going to grab like kind of like a random, I'm going to grab our friend Gianna. She doesn't even know she's in this yet, but that's okay. I'm going to stick her back here. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to place her. There's this like table here, right? So because it's a background, I can't place this character. I can't place it behind it just yet. I have to actually drop a prop in there. So what I did was actually created a prop as well. And I could find that under, under desk maybe. Yeah, there's a desk here that actually matches this desk right here. So I'm going to take this and scale it down to about match the one that's back there. I think that's good. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my character. I will layer me up to the front. I'm going to take Sarah. I'm going to layer her up to the front. And while I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and put my arm around her. So that means I got to layer me down one. Okay. And the receptionist saw Sarah walk in and was like, you seem okay. You don't sound like your typical like pregnant guest, because when she came in, let me change her expression here. She kind of had this like, I don't know, she's kind of like smiling about it a little bit. So let me use this one and then let me change her expression to that, eyes open. And it wasn't that, it was more like she was just like smiling, like she was still in a good mood. And the receptionist was like, no, that doesn't sound right. Anyway, we came in there early because the page were coming in and she was like not sure. So just to be safe, we drove there on a Sunday night. The induction date was literally Monday. So she was there ready to go. They ended up sending us back home that night, which was fine because we really just wanted a trial run. We wanted to because I had to take a bunch of expressways to get there. So she was a little concerned about the route. I was concerned about the route, actually. Driving through Detroit, during certain times of the day can be a little bit the traffic could be kind of dangerous and kind of messy. So you have to kind of pay attention to it. But let me go in and change her look and her eyes. Now let's change her eyebrows. And she's just kind of talking. Okay, now let's give her a text bubble here. And we'll say, I have some of these kind of pre-written out. So I'm just going to paste this in here. This is literally what, I don't know if this was exactly said, but it felt like it was. Like if you were in labor, you wouldn't be smiling. That's almost like how they said something to that effect. I can't remember exactly what it was. So let me flip that. So the text bubble's coming out of there. And then what I'm also going to do is I'm going to add one of these. Whoops. I'm going to add another text block, and I'm going to add a little sign. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually pin this to the top, and I'm going to scale this up, and then I'm going to unpin it. And what the pin does is it snaps it to the top so you can like make sure it's centered, and then you can kind of adjust your text box. And then I'm going to turn it into one of these, and I'm going to put it in this copy here that I had planned here. I got another like text document open. So yeah, we did our trial run, and she was relaxed. She walked into the place, and they were very confused because they were not used to seeing their patients walk in being all smiley and bubbly. But I thought this was a perfect page for that. I'm gonna adjust this here a little bit so that's not doubling up. Okay, I think that's good. So that was our first false start trip to the hospital. And after that it's really like her going in the next day. So the story is we actually went in the next day after this, and she woke up at like 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning. So we went home that night. She went home about like 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning. She started getting like really bad pains, and she started getting really concerned. So we said, you know what, let's just go. Worst case scenario, they're not going to turn us away the day of, because our induction time was at 6 p.m. that evening, and she was like already starting to feel it. So this next page, I'm going to go another blank page, and this one I'm actually going to use several times because this is actually in the hospital. So I'm going to start with the background, and as I showed you earlier, I got my hospital background. I'm going to drop in a bed, which I also created for this specific occasion as well, a little hospital bed. And I'm going to flip that so it's kind of coming off the edge here. And I'm going to start dropping in our characters. I'm going to drop in pregnant Sarah again, and I'm going to drop in myself. Now this is the next day, and I'm going to do a couple little changes here for this one. So here, I'm going to put her in this like white outfit just because it's kind of like a gown a little bit. There she is. Okay. Looks like it's just a little refresh. Let's get her like laying down, and then click on her body, flip her right. Nope, not that. I clicked that arm, apparently. Let's flip her body right, and let's rotate her. Let's get her on that bed. Oh, okay. So she was probably like laying there like this. Let's flip that arm down too. A lot of stomach holding at this time. A lot of belly holding. Like just like lifting her up, just like holding it, like feeling it, like how much weight that was in there. Like that little baby boy was a heavy one. Let me go and draw a blanket as well. Let's just toss in, let's maybe do like this one. I think this one works. Just something that kind of covers her up. Let me bring my character up, and look, she's got her expression, eyes kind of low a little bit. She's kind of smiling, but she's also like in a lot of pain at this point. You also might have noticed the way I switched the eyes. Now, the reason I had to do that was because this character is actually rotated. It's like flipped left and right. So when it does that, it does mirror certain aspects like the eyes. So if you're looking right, you see the eyes actually went left. That's because the character's mirrored. It's just like, you have to just keep that in mind for like the direction. It's just a little quirk with the system. So we'll get there. Her eyes are looking good. Let me add some text here too. And in this text box, I'm going to say, let's see, you were so strong. Yep, that's it. So you were so strong and locked in, and you kept that smile on your face the whole time. When it hurt the most, you fought through. And that is a true statement. That was probably one of the most amazing things I've ever seen somebody go through. It's just like, you get to that point where, you're past the point of no return. You have to go through it, and you have to do it for the little guy too. So, it's just like her transition, the way she changed her demeanor, and the way she it's just the way she handled everything was just like amazing. So I'm going to add another text box here, and my role again, as always, was supportive, and that's what I did. I felt like a cheerleader, especially like during the actual delivery. Like it just felt like you're just watching the nurses, and you're watching the doctor, and you're watching like her mom was in there. So, watching her. Anyway, I was just like a cheerleading squad. That's all you could be. That's all you could do. She was doing all the work. The doctors had it handled, but she was the one doing the work. And all you could do was just stand by and cheer her on. So that's what I did. The funny thing about this story was she went through a lot of this. And at the end of the day, she'll tell you that the IV was probably the worst part of it. And I actually went through and did another IV. We had a black and white IV. I don't know if this will work. Hospital, maybe? Or we just do IV. Oh yeah, okay, there we go. IV. I made this IV yesterday. So I figured I'd just take this and stick it in here. And then I just layer it down. So if she sees it in the background, she'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, and I'll move this out of the way a little bit, and I'll flip this one the other direction. So we can kind of see that little Hy-Vee bag. And let's say, literally like flip it on this arm over here. Yeah, like that. So there we go. We got a little IV bag. The other thing I like to do too is I like to drop shadows on my characters. It's just nice to have them. Oops, shadow. So we got these little disc shadows. I think I might have mentioned this in other episodes, but you can always, these are like these slightly transparent discs, and you can bring these, and it just gives the character just like a little bit more like depth. It's like actually like on the canvas. So I got to move it to the back layer so it's not overlapping my feet, and that's it. So this was her in the delivery. I don't think I'm gonna actually do a page of like the delivery. I think that's probably just like a little much, but I'll do this to the beginning, the prior and the aftermath. So, and here we go. I think that's the page for getting started in the hospital. I'm going to use this page again now. So this one's saved. And what I'm going to do, my next page is actually going to be about my first time holding Jackson. So after the delivery, it was just like that first skin to skin touch. What I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this page, go into edit, and I'm going to change the text right away. And this one is going to be holding him for the first time. I was so nervous. For you, it was love at first sight. She was like happy and tired, knocked out. Get rid of this text, and what I have to do to myself in this one is I can get rid of that shadow. I'm going to bring in a chair. I like this one. Okay, let's bring in like these like really comfy. This is actually my bed for like 3 days because we had to stay in the hospital for 3 days. Let me layer this one down so it just goes behind me. And then let me put myself in a seated pose position. Let's do this one. I kind of like this one. Actually looks good because I can just do a slight little adjustment to it like that and rotate my head. And I can do have like maybe like these eyes and then looking down, maybe like that. And then my smile could be just like this little like oh, kind of like smile. And now I got to add Mr. Jackson. The very first time we get to see him, we type in baby and we get a couple different babies in here. We got a couple boys. I'm going to drop this boy in here, and that's me with the little nugget. And I bring my hand down. I'm going to change this hand to like scooping up underneath a little bit. And I'll change this one too, so it looks like it's kind of like wrapping around. I'll do like one of these numbers. There we go. The first time holding baby. Oh, and use the clothing override template to, or not template, but override option to take the top off. Yeah, that's right. Getting crazy in here. So yeah, skin to skin touch, just holding him. I mean, obviously he's not unwrapped or anything, but yeah, this is it. Let me change this to, yeah, this was a moment. It was an emotional moment. Let me get rid of her IV while we're here, and then we'll flip that one this way. Okay, perfect. So this is my first, I'm gonna change this. This is my first time holding him. It's quite a momentous occasion. It's wild. I'll save that one. All right, let's move on to the next one. Okay, this one was about, let's see, this is a duplicate page, and I'm going to edit. And this is about mother-in-law and the nurses. So I'm going to delete our chair here. I want to give Jackson over to Sarah, and I'm going to open her eyes up. Let's see here. On a face up. Here we go. Open her eyes, and she's over here. She's kind of talking a little bit. Let's change her eye direction. Let me put some, actually, let me get rid of me. I don't think I'm in this one. I'm going to duplicate this because I'm going to need 2 bubbles. But I'm going to go ahead and add. I actually went in ahead, like I said earlier. I created Sarah's mom. That's Tarina. That's her. She's in the background here. We sent her to the back. And then I'm going to get our nurse, which I also created. And that was Anne Marie. She was the rock star. Like, she was just like, you know, one of those like veteran nurses that has done this so many times. And like, Sarah was just like complete, like it was like her second mother. Like it was, there was almost some competition there for a second. It's just because, you know, when you're going through that type of experience, you grasp on to like anything and anyone. Like she was there for her, and like it meant a lot. So, you know, when you feel helpless like that, you don't know what's gonna happen. You start to like really rely on the people around you. So let me change the text here, and let's just grab this. And for this one, I wanted to say, like, you know, your mom was a lifesaver. She coached you through the whole process. Without her and Anne Marie, it would have been 100 times harder. And that's the truth. So both of Sarah was ready to go. So I'm going to change it to a double bubble. Here we go. So they're both saying it because in unison, they're both being very motherly to her. And she was tired. I'm gonna get those eyes kind of shut. And let me see if I can grab her arm and kind of bring it up a little bit. So if we go back to arms and we curl these a little bit more. Yeah. I'm gonna move the blanket down a little bit. That's perfect. How it works. Okay. There we go. All right, good. And then this one, and this was another funny thing. She kept asking, she's like, so we have a family restaurant as well. And she kept saying, you got to come to the restaurant. That's a story for another day too. We come to the restaurant to visit, question where she was like tired, out of it, exhausted. She kept asking for her to come visit. She was where she's from Canada. So she would like, it would be such a hike for her to like come visit, but she was like adamant about it. It was like she just didn't want to say goodbye type of moment. So yeah, that's the page where I wanted to like give a shout out to Sarah's mom and to our nurse Anne Marie. Couldn't have gone through it without her. Okay, moving on. Next up, we bring in some friends. We're bringing in friends. Okay, duplicate, edit. Let's get rid of, this one's gonna be fast too. Let's get rid of Anne Marie. Let's get rid of mom. Let's get rid of that text block. Okay, this was a big moment. This is when life started to get somewhat back to normal. You were so exhausted, but you were already in love. Then Madeline came to the rescue with sushi. And I'm going to leave that one here for now. So now I got to bring in our friend Maddie. Madeline, this is Sarah's best friend. Ignore the top. I had to pick a shirt for her, and I figured that was a fun one. So I gave her a shirt, and let me get her arms ready to be holding the baby. Okay, and let's bring him in. Layer, flipping. Layer up, layer up, layer up. There we go. And let's get these arms in good position here for baby holding. Okay, here we go. And now I need to actually, here's another thing I did too. I need to put a table down. So I'm gonna grab one of our color tables. So we got a lot of black and white tables in here, but I like this color table right here. This works. I think it does the trick for what we need. And you're gonna notice some of that stuff. Like, is everything like exact to how you remember it? No, not always, but like you can get some of the points across. Let me put a shadow in here. Let me throw one in for Maddie. And let me also duplicate that and then throw one here on the floor for the table, like that. So the cool thing about these shadows is that they do overlap. So it does look, Maddie will flip her face. She's looking down and she is smiling. She loved that baby. Okay, that's Auntie Mads. That's what we call her. And then we're gonna flip this one that way. And Sarah's line for this is, I have waited so long for this. Right, I'm gonna fix that text size. And finally, I gotta add the buffet, the sushi buffet. Let me add that one in here. I got another one, I gotta pull that out. That's gonna be removed. Don't worry, we'll take care of that though. Let me do that. And then just let me duplicate this because she got us several boxes of sushi, carry out sushi. We're gonna do that. I'll do another stamp with like some carry out sushi and water. See, water bottle. Water bottle works. Just because Sarah always has her famous water bottle with her. One of her Stanleys, as always. And let's give her the yummy eyes wide open, eyebrows up, looking down at that sushi. And she is ready to go. Let's see here. Maybe she's like actually reaching for it. Let's turn this one into a little bit of a, and then turn this arm into a little bit of a reacher. Maybe a curve like this. Yeah, something like that. And she's going in. She's going in for the sushi. All right. So that's it. Okay, so I just I wrapped up with 5 different covers. Let me save this one out. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 covers. I do have probably about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I got 7 more to do. I'm probably gonna do all of them. I'm gonna do 5 of them in the next one, then I'll do 2 of them for the very last one. And then that should be it. That'll round out this entire thing. Sorry for this one being a little bit extra long, but you can always like fast forward. Maybe we'll put some like what are they called? Time markers or whatever in the, or chapter markers or whatever, bookmarks in the video. And you can skip ahead to like different pages. But yep, that's it. We're running out our book. It's getting close. She's probably on her way home. I got to get out of here. So I'll see you in the next episode.